Back, you're watching Kivumbi2017, and yes, we are also on this end telling you what's happening online. And just about 10 days to the elections, Ezra Chiloba of the IEBC tweeted on his account, and he said, in 10 days, we test the resilience of our democracy one more time. And he went on to say it should be our resolve to perfect it despite its imperfections. And that was a tweet that I think was retweeted about 236 times and liked about 397 times. But there's so many questions that followed that tweet, and I'm sure we can actually have it right on our screens. And then, there was follow-up feedback from people online, and some of the feedback was one absorbent observer said that the best tests are taken when thoroughly prepared. Let's not create excuses for crooks to rubbish our clear choices or abort our desires. And, there are some people actually who were also saying that why do you worry about our democracy's resilience when you have the enviable opportunity to address its imperfections? That is some of the feedback that came through from that tweet that was tweeted by Ezra Chiloba. And if you can take a look there, there's another who is saying, that is Ojambo Benson, who is saying the idea of not giving Kenyans periodic updates on election day will cause mayhem. It's like setting a stage for a dispute. Think twice, Mkubwa. And let's see what else people had to say there. On Twitter, we have one coming in from Mawel Kevin, who is saying, what we need is a free, fair and transparent election. Can we trust in the Commission to do that? And in studio with me, I've got Abraham Kiplangat Mutai, who is a blogger and political strategist. Thank you for joining us. We also have Joy Jelimo Chelagat, who is the digital content manager here at the Standard Group. Thank you both for joining us. A lot is being said online about how the IEBC might have been unprepared, and all these imperfections are coming out just days to elections. But do you think that online users have been educated well enough to know what they're supposed to be doing on voting day? I'll start with you.
Actually, I've seen a lot of material from IEBC online, and if you've been so keen and following IEBC, you realize that they have been churning out a lot of material. Yeah. Though not so much, because lately is the time we're seeing that they're coming out explaining one or two, but most of the time they will come out and explain issues or those contentious issues on TV, live TV, but also there is also the online space where most of the people are, and some of these people may not have the chance to watch TV. So I can say, to some extent, I can give them maybe around 60%, but they have not done so quite well online. Yeah.
When you say 60%, I don't know what Joy is going to say. But from where you see it from, do you think that maybe we are somehow people who are over-ambitious? We always expect more than 100% from our authorities in the country.
I think you're right to some extent when it comes to that, because particularly from people who sit at the digital perspective, we're comparing global best practice, and we're looking at institutions like in other countries which are thoroughly staffed with the best digital minds in the space, whereas our elections body may not necessarily have the amount of resourcing, even in terms of ad revenue, to be able to target the kind of messaging and the kind of voter education that we expect. So we benchmark with some of the global power players, and we'd be like, oh, but this country did their elections like this, and this is what was done in the digital space, then not. But I'd like to commend IBC, because I remember the last time we had an election, I reviewed their website. It wasn't as user-friendly as this one is. Right. We've seen them employ multimedia tactics in engaging the audiences and trying to push their message out. And also we've seen them trying to do a little bit of targeting. And even, like, I remember when you're on Facebook, during, I think 2-3 months ago, they're asking, would you confirm your voter registration? So, I mean, some of those interventions are quite engaging, but the measure of whether or not they'll be effective will be known on August 8th when you look at who came to the ballot.
Great. So we've seen, the IEBC putting out a lot of digital information, and to an extent, some online users have critiqued it, saying, there's a lot more content online than there is offline, and so they think that the awareness that has been created online seems to supersede what has been done on the ground. Would you agree with that?
I would have to sit at a place where I know how much IBC has done on ground and off ground and look at their budgets. which I'm not in a position to do. But what I've seen also is that they're using online to amplify what's happening on ground. So they have, like, I was checking their tweet stream, and they have pictures of the guys who are doing voter education in buses, and they're showing guys, this is what we're doing on ground. And there's been that cross-pollination. However, I feel that there are different constituents sometimes that you need to consider in terms of who's speaking. And then also we can't just look at content volume, because we know there's a lot of bots out there that today, if I want to speak louder than you online, I just need to be able to pull a little few shillings somewhere, and I can actually have 20 or 30 more tweets than you. So sometimes they're playing with people who have underhanded tactics, so there's that aspect of it. But what I feel is that some of their content is not well thought out. The concept is well... I mean, the concept is a good concept, but in terms of thinking about the impact that it would have on the online audience, that's where I would put a little bit of a question mark.
All right. So figures that have been put out, they say that, you know, out of the 19 million registered voters, about 60% of them are below the age of 35, which is a good thing. So you could say that there's been a plus from all this Twitter, Facebook, Instagram posts that the IEBC has been spoofing out. But do you think that the young people are going to take the initiative to actually go and cast their votes, or you think they're just desktop activists?
Yeah, I believe if we ask, even in this room, that how many people will make it to go and vote, actually, maybe half of this room can say we are not going to make it to vote. So, you know, the voter turnout has been quite so low in this country for some time. And we cannot actually say we're going to have 100% this time around, especially at this time, people are so frustrated. There's nothing that is pushing them to go out there and vote. So we're just hoping that through what IBC has been able to do. And something else that I can tell you, IBC has been having quite a number of issues, contentious issues, one after another. And these are some of the things that have been frustrating other people. They feel like, you know, IBC is not so much prepared. So why should I go there? You say, why should I go and vote? After all, IBC is not prepared.
All right.
Like, I have a few questions here. I told people I was coming live, and people have been asking.
We're going to get to those questions in a while, because I'm sure there are about 3 pages of them. And Duncan Okoa, you're saying, why do you worry about our democracy's resilience when you have the enviable opportunity to address its imperfections? We also have Alan Rotich saying, fair and credible election is the only song in every single minute. I hope the people's choice in democracy is respected, among other views that are coming through Twitter. But remember, you can take part in this conversation. What do you want to know from the IEBC? Let us know using the hashtag Kivumbi2017. And here on KTN Online, we'll be actually taking a look at those tweets of yours, those questions, and having a conversation about them, but also posing the questions to IEBC officials who are going to be with us in studio shortly. Do stay with us. I'll hand you over now